Okay, wonderful. Let's start our session. I think everyone had the time to join us. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this first webinar to introduce the XR4ED open calls, these funding opportunities provided by this European funded project. First of all, I would like to inform you that this session is being recorded and the recording will be available on the project digital channels. So today we'll have this presentation made by three members from the consortium. So first of all, we will have the Dr. Fotis Liarokapis from Science, the coordination and the coordinator of this project. We'll have also the Dr. Aris Zakaratus from CELAC. This is the technical coordinator that is managing the platform that is being developed by the project. And myself, Daniel Silva from F6S. I'm leading and the open call manager for these funding opportunities. So the session will have more or less a 1 hour duration. And we'll have a Q&A session that I will now show to you the agenda. So we will start with this platform, with this project overview. After that, we will have the platform review. Then we'll have the open calls overview. And finally, these 10-15 minutes for Q&A session. However, as I share with you on the chat, we will have a specific session just for Q&A. So all your doubts and questions about how the program works and so on can also be addressed during that specific session. So no more further ado, I will pass the floor to Fotis that will present you the project. Fotis?
Thank you, Daniel. So welcome, everybody. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the project. So first of all, we have secured funding of close to 8 million euros. We have 11 partners in total from several countries. You can see the geographical distribution on the right-hand side. So we are from Science in Cyprus, which we are the coordinators. And we have also the technical partner, which is Haris Zakaratos, going to present the platform after me. Both of us, we are from Cyprus, and then we have other countries from France, Spain, Germany, Greece, Ireland, Luxembourg, and Romania. Next slide, please. So overall, we have a main objective. The main objective of XR4ED is to design, create, and maintain a sustainable on-demand educational platform. And this is focused on EdTech and XR community. So we're using extended reality and education technologies joined together, addressing all levels of education, from schools to universities. We're going to have three different SMART objectives, which I'm going to describe in the next slides. Next slide, please. So the first thing is the scientific and innovation objectives. We have one main objective here, and the objective is to enhance extended reality technologies for education. And we are focused on previous work that has been done before the project starts. So we're using know-how from our experiences, where we developed prototypes and applications in TRL 4 or 5. And we're taking them now with the project to TRL 7. In terms of the technological objectives, we have two objectives. The first one is to implement the platform, the innovative and sustainable on-demand platform, which is mobilizing the EdTech and the XR EU community. And the second very important objective, which is one of the hottest issues nowadays in the field of extended reality, is to formulate privacy and ethics standards for the EU community. Next slide, please. The third type of smart objectives that we have are the business objectives. And the first obvious kind of objective is to boost the use of the platform by reaching to all potential user groups. And the second business objective is to deliver a pan-European multi-sided platform for education, training, and learning. And this is going to be validated through the tendering process and various long-lasting demonstrations. And finally, to deliver a sustainable ecosystem of collaborating organizations in several domains, utilizing, of course, our XR4ED platform and renovating XR in education-related sectors. Next slide, please. So the main concepts is we are different from other projects. One of the very big differences, we have a lot of expertise in the consortium on creating extended reality avatars. So we focus a lot on how these avatars are going to be represented in the extended reality educational platform. So users can select among different appearances and animation types. This animation could be for body language, for example, could be for head movement, for eye gaze, and so on. Apart from that, other important concept is the XR development platform, which is a web-based application and integrates multiple third-party tools. And finally, is a very important also concept is the authoring tool, which in essence allows teachers, educators to create XR experiences without having to know how to code. Next slide, please. So this is the overall methodology. This is the last slide from me. You can see the XR4ED platform in kind of the center, and this is going to be fed by several important parts. One of that is the developer platform. Another unique point that we have in the project is we have a marketplace. The marketplace is where somebody can either a developer or a third-party user can create content and upload it into the marketplace. And this can be used by the platform in order to create these XR educational experiences. We have a lot of other things. I'm not going to go into detail on the individual parts, components that we have. In essence, we're creating XR experiences, which means immersive VR and immersive AR and MR. So thank you. I think that's the last slide, Daniel.
Okay, thank you so much, Fotis, for your presentation and for this overview of the project. I would like also to inform our attendees that there is a Q&A box available for you. So if you have any questions, you can address your question directly there. So and at the end of this session, we'll have a specific session to try to answer your questions. So thank you so much. Now I will give the floor to Aris that will present you a platform of review. So Aris.
Hi, everyone. So in general, the platform, so we have separated, there are two separate tendering processes. The first one is for mostly for developers to create components to enhance the existing platform. So here you can see the diagram for microservices that already exist throughout the platform. You can see down the marketplace that you will be able to upload as a developer a component with the license and all the details. And through microservices, you will be able to access all this. Now, the aim is to create components to enhance the existing platform. The existing platform has already some components, and the aim is to create innovative components with innovation and to be able to be uploaded through the marketplace to the authoring tool in order for the teachers to use it to author lessons. Now, as an example, we have put on the right a component created by one of our partners, which is an automatic asset creation tool. So it's a GAN network generation of asset creation. So here you can type in, so they created an interface to be able to type in a text, so and create models, 3D models, to be able to use inside the authoring tool. So in order to create that, they use the existing microservices of the login, the products, the specifications that we are not going to get into detail now. This will be given ready to all the successful participants. So in a nutshell, everything on the microservices and on the APIs are going to be given. And you need to concentrate on creating really innovative components, AR, XR components, to be able to be uploaded through the marketplace into the authoring tool, so educators will be able to use it. Now, I just want to say also that the output of the authoring tool is going to be play in XR devices, like, for example, Oculus devices, or AR devices like mobile phones. We are not going to, the project is for XR, so no, let's say, desktop applications, or it needs to be able eventually to be used by the XR devices and mobile phones, of course, with AR, as Potis just explained. So next slide, please. And this is the microservice architecture. It's not all the microservices. It's just an example of the microservices here. So we have microservices for the marketplace, for administration, for the authoring tool, for user authentication, file uploads. So all this will be given ready with APIs documentation and also our support. And you need to concentrate on creating really innovative components for the authors. So this is the description mainly for the first tendering process, which is mostly on technical and developers. So thank you. I mean, we can continue and we can come back for any questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Harry, for providing this overview of the platform. I would like to inform all attendees and participants and potential applicants that there is a technical document linked to the documentation kit that tried to also to provide more insights and details on the platform and how to use it. So this is one of the things that I will mention during this part of the open calls overview. And I would like to start through that part, so trying to enhance also the message that Harry's provided before. So there is this technical annex where you can find on the documentation kit. You just need to scan this QR code, and we will redirect to the open call web page, where all the information about the funding opportunities is available, and where you can also download all the information about the calls. So the documentation kit with the open call overview, that those are the 4 main documents that you have to pay more attention during the preparation of your application. However, there are other annex as well there. So first of all, and try to provide you an overview in the very nutshell of the calls. So first of all, the time frame. So the call started, this open for submission period started on the 1st of May, and it'll run until the 3rd of July at 5 p.m. Brussels time. So indicative budget, we have 4.6 million divided in the 2 tracks. So the call for developers and the call for pilots, each one with the equal amount. So 2.3 million per track. The number of projects that will be supported will be up to 20, so 10 in each track, and an estimated budget per project up to 230K. The duration, so in the incubation, if you are selected, you will participate in this incubation program that will last for 12 months, starting in October 2024. So as I said, there is this documentation kit that I invite you all to read carefully, because instructions about the guideline for applicants, most of the information that will be shared to you next are available there. There is also the open call overview that gives you a very brief presentation on the objectives, goals, and conditions of the call. The technical annex, as I mentioned before, where explains in detail the technical requirements to access, and this is important for the call for developers, as Aries underlined it. So please go there and read these documents. They will provide you a lot of information. And to end this documentation kit, there is the proposal template that you have to use when you are submitting your proposal. So there is a template provided by the project, and any other format of PDF or like a pitch deck or whatever will not be evaluated, or in this case will not be eligible if they are not using the proposal template, so the project template that is provided there. So just to give you a very brief information, and sorry for this detailed information on this slide, but it is important to highlight this information about the open calls. So first of all, the program has this dual focus, so that I will mention now: fostering innovation and supporting the development of XR educational solutions, and development of pioneering XR solutions within the XR4ED thematic areas that I will present next. So those are the 2 main focus of those calls. And they are, of course, targeting and asking for players like startups, SMEs, industry companies working on the field, and education-focused actor to try to catalyze this innovation and excellence in XR technology for education. That is one of the main goals as presented by Fotis of the project. The second one is to support advanced early prototypes of XR education solutions to market-ready products. So one of the objectives, and I will of course mention again during this brief presentation, is to receive these early prototypes of XR education solutions and try to, during the incubation program, advance in the technological side. So from TRL 4 to TRL 7. And this market validation is a key element of the calls and program. So the piloting that is mainly related to the second track is to test all the solutions that are provided by the platform that is developed by the call for developers. So from the first track to engage end users such as schools, high schools, universities, teachers, students, parents, and VET institutions. Lastly, all projects funded. So if you are selected, they have to comply with open standards. So WebXR, OpenXR, and their work will be published in the European XR4ED solutions catalog. So this is something that we are developing until the end of the project, and you have to comply with both these requirements. So now trying to focus a little bit more on the two calls in terms of goals. What is the goal? And for instance, the call for developers, as Aris said, is to enrich the XR4ED platform. So what we are asking you is to develop solutions that will be incorporated in this platform that are targeting development of new solutions and additional components. So for the educational sector. So this is the main goal for the call for developers, or the first track. And the second track, the call for pilots, is the goal is to run end users pilots and targets the deployment and customization of XR solutions, and to demonstrate the adoption of XR technologies in an educational environment. And this has a particular importance because we'll have a very important support or in the requirements for the type of applicants that can be supported in each one of the tracks. Another thing that you have to bear in mind is the challenge areas. So we are looking for projects in both tracks that are targeting these challenge areas, and there are requirements that we have to follow. So we have to follow a minimum number of projects in each one of these challenge areas. So no matter if you are applying to call for developers or for call for pilots, you have to indicate where what challenge area are you trying to solve, and your project needs to be aligned to that area, to that challenge. So you cannot indicate a virtual field trip challenge where you only focus on distance and blended learning, for instance. So you have to align your project and your application with the challenge area that you are applying to. In each one of in both calls, in both tracks, you have to select the challenge area that you are applying for. So there are 6, as you can see: virtual field trips, content creation exploration, awareness of climate change and biodiversity challenge, training of young professionals upskilling, distance and blended learning, and finally, inclusiveness and accessibility. So now I will try to mention 3 important eligibility criteria. So I will explain the process in the next slides, how this remote evaluation will run. However, you have to bear in mind that there is some criteria that you have to follow. Here are some, but you can find all the criteria on the guideline for applicants. So first of all, both calls will fund projects developed by single entities. No, first of all, just to be very clear to everyone. So both calls will fund projects developed by consortium, so up to 3 entities, and will be led by a coordinator. However, the call for developers are open also for single entities applications. What you have to bear in mind is that call for developers is only open to startups, SMEs, and mid-caps. So alone or a consortium of 2 or 3 entities, you have to bear in mind, for instance, if you are a university, if you are a VT organization, you are not eligible to apply for the call for developers. The call for pilots has this consortium requirement. So the type of entities that are legally established that may apply to as a consortium, as part of consortium, or as for the pilot, you have to bear in mind that, for instance, universities, vocational and training educational training organizations and non-for-profit organizations can only apply as part of a consortium for the call for pilots, and these call for pilots, in any case, must be led by startups and SMEs. I will mention that next, but this is very important. So the entities that can apply to the XR4ED open calls are here identified. So startups, SMEs, and mid-caps that are providers of XR technologies, universities, VT organizations, and non-for-profit organizations. I will mention again, there is these notes under the slides. So in the bottom of the slides, universities, in this case, VT organization, non-for-profit entities, can all apply as part of a consortium and not individually. And in terms of consortium requirements, especially for the call for pilots, as I was saying, so the consortium is mandatory condition, and the following rules apply. So the coordinator of these consortiums must be a startup or an SME, so this is mandatory. The second and third partner can be, for instance, another SME, another startup, a mid-cap, a university, a VT organization, a non-for-profit organization, if they are, of course, contributing to the development of XR-based digital learning solutions and mobilization of the required education actors to carry out the pilot's activities. So the specific roles are described in the technical proposal, so I invite you all to read that carefully. And the final note that I have regarding the consortium requirements and these type of applicants that are eligible under this call is that all participants, all entities must have a registered VAT number, so which needs to be verifiable. So these will be requested as part of the individual declaration of honor or consortium declaration of honor. And finally, unincorporated startups are not eligible. So you have to be incorporated at the moment that you are applying to the call. In terms of countries, we are following the same rules that applies to EC for the R&D program Horizon Europe. So in terms of geographical coverage, eligibility, and exclusions. So we have member states, we have overseas countries and territories, and Horizon Europe associated countries that can apply to this call. A note is that UK entities are not eligible to participate as they have joined the Horizon Europe program as an associate country in January 2024, and unfortunately XR projects and FSD funds are prior to that agreement. So UK entities are not eligible to apply to these calls. In terms of financial eligibility, we have these conditions that apply to all proposals. So we have a 230K lump sum grant amount to selected applications, and the total amount requested cannot represent more than 100% of total project costs, and those costs must cover personal costs, other direct costs, and indirect costs. So subcontracting in these calls are not eligible. All proposals must provide a planned a planned justification, and have to provide also these costs, planning costs for and resources for the projects that they are applying. So there is this part on the technical proposal that you have to follow. So you have to provide these beforehand. And for equipment costs, bear in mind that for call for pilots, those are eligible, so those are accepted, but only depreciation costs, and these must be justified. Whereas the call for developers, the equipment costs are not accepted as eligible costs. And as I said, these will be disbursed in lump sums and pending the successful delivery of evaluations of reports that I will mention next. So in terms of proposal preparation and submission, both calls are running on F6S platform. So you have to use F6S platform to submit your application form and technical proposal. No other means will be accepted. For instance, if you submit your template through email, those will not be eligible. So you have to follow this requirement. You have to be registered on F6S platform. I will show you how to do that. But there is also one thing that I have to underline here, is that we have two different links to apply to the both tracks. So there is a specific track for a specific link for the call for developers track, and there is another for call for pilots. So this is very important. You cannot apply for the call for developers using the call for pilots. You have to use the specific link addressing each one of the tracks. So the application form or the submission stage will be provided in two different documents or requirements. So first of all, we have the application form that is provided by F6S, where you have to provide this administrative information, all the consents, all the agreements with the call rules and conditions. So these are available on the application form. But to be successful, you have also to submit a technical proposal document that should be and must be submitted as a PDF only. So any other format will not be eligible. That describes this technical proposal. That is a template that we provide, and here are the link, and you can find it also on the OpenCall webpage. So this document will describe your project and is structured in multiple mandatory sections that I will mention next. And the technical annex provides guidance on document formatting and the required items to be addressed. So please use this template, because we'll guide you how to provide a proposal that will focus on the subjects or on the sections that we will evaluate that are important for X4ED project to be focused on, and of course where the independent experts and experts in all will use to evaluate your proposal. So one thing that I would like to also mention here, that is strongly recommend that applicants submit their proposal well before the deadline, just to avoid, and the deadline is 3rd of July at 5 p.m. Brussels time, just to avoid any issues with the platform due to the number of applications to be submitted at that time. So please be careful. Don't wait until the last minute to submit your proposal. So here there is a brief video how to start your application. You click on the link. So call for pilots, for instance, you don't have account, you have to sign, you have 3 different ways to do that. You can choose this one. And for instance, here, if you are not registered and you you say, okay, I want to continue as another user, and you will see every time this box. You type here your email address, you select a random password, and you continue. If the platform doesn't recognize this email address as linked to a user profile, so F6S user profile, you will start the registration process. If that email is already in F6S database, so they will say, okay, password is not correct. Okay, so let's continue. And you enter, you will see that the submission form will be blocked because only entities can apply to this, though no natural person are available to apply to the call. You create one very quickly, just create one, something that you would like to call to your project and create, and it's automatically. Here I use an account that I have for testing. You will fill out the form, and here you have to choose to a file, so a technical proposal template that must be document format in PDF. You have to upload this document here to be successful in the submission of your application. So if there is no document here, you will not be able to submit your application. So you upload, go fill everything, and submit your proposal, and that's it. Okay. So in terms of evaluation and selection process, so this will be carried out by XR4ED consortium with the support of independent external experts that we are now collecting through expression of interest. So first of all, we will run this eligibility verification, such to try to understand, for instance, if the proposal template that you use is according to the project requirements, if you are from an eligible country. So this will be do during the eligibility verification, and after that we have the external remote evaluation. So if you pass, you go to the external remote evaluation. We will receive the scores from all the experts. All the proposal will be ranked according to those scores. You have to bear in mind that we have to support a minimum requirement number per challenge. So we will, of course, take that into consideration, and we will select the scores that will be used, and the weighting that will be used for the call for the ballots and call for ballots is slightly different, although the criteria is the same. So we have 4 criteria: innovation, impact, replicability, and implementation. The weighting is kind of different, but you can see that here are the scores, or all the applications will be scored. So just to mention that experts can all evaluate each one of the criteria from 1 to 5 range. However, decimal scores on average can be given to each one of the sections. So for instance, when one expert gives you a 5 on innovation, the other gives you a 4. So the average score for innovation is 4.5. And after that, we will implement this weighting scale. In terms of incubation and funding program overview, so you are selected, you are invited to start the contracting process, you accept, you submit all the documents that the consortium asks for, you sign the contract agreement with the XR4ED representative, and you are good to go. So you start your project, your incubation program. So as I said, we are targeting this October 2024 to be the first, to be the start of your project. And it will run in 3 different phases or sprints. The first, and each one of these sprints has a payment linked, because we are, as I said, a lump sum grant mechanism. So you have to achieve a level of requirements in order to release these payments in each one of the sprints. So we have the phase one, that is launch and bootcamp. It will have a duration of 1 month. And if you are success, you will have a mentor and a coach dedicated to your project. You will try to take into consideration the project that was accepted, to try to define a plan for the overall incubation and provide these details. And if you are successful on this, and if the coach positively approves your deliverable, let's call like that, we will release the 40% of the grant amount as a first payment to you. On the second phase, we'll have this second sprint that we call acceleration, where you will try to accelerate the project implementation. We'll have a duration of 5 months, so from month 2 to month 6. And if you are successful at the end with the deliverables that is defined in the first phase, and also with this midterm meeting review, where we will assess and track the project progress, and if everything goes according to the plan, we will release the second payment that represents 40% of the total grant amount. Finally, you have this phase 3 sprint that called Demo Day Bootcamp, that will last for the final 6 months of the project. And if you are successful at the end, so we implement everything according to the plan, according to the sub-grant agreement and the project that you applied to and was approved, you will receive the last 20% of the grant amount available. So the 230K will be paid in these different installments, these 3 different installments. So in terms of indicative timelines, and I'm coming to an end of my presentation. So the submission stage will run until the 3rd of July at 5 p.m. Brussels time. After that, we'll start the evaluation and selection stage that we foresee to happen until the 5th of September. So we believe that the notification of results will be done in this date. And if you are selected and invited to participate in the project, and if you accept the conditions, the contracting stage will run from the entire month of September, and we are targeting the incubation stage to start on the October 2024. But of course, this will depend on the number of proposals that we have to evaluate, how fast our first applicants is replying to these contracting stage emails that take some time, but any change to the current dates will be duly communicated to all applicants through XR4ED digital channels or via email or by email. Last, I would like to inform you that we will have a dedicated session for Q&A part. So if you have a doubt, question, please use this Q&A session, because we will spend most of the time hour that we have dedicated to these sessions, trying to clarify all your doubts and all your concerns about these 2 open calls. You'll find the link to the registration page on the chat. I shared it with you in the beginning of this session, but in any case, we will provide this PPT, this presentation will be available to everyone, the recording as well, and you will find the links as well in this, also in this presentation. So if everything was clear to everyone, we will not have any questions on the Q&A session, but it's not true. We have already some. So we will address that part and I will start reading all of them just to provide you and see what we can do. So, and also I will ask my colleagues, Fotis and Aris, to be available to also to respond to more technical questions and help me in this process. So first question that we have is related to the TRL. So if the starting TRL is 4, but the platform is not available yet, is it, should applicants work on the prototype that use other technologies and then, if selected, rebuild interactions with the XR4ED SDK? This question is particularly directed at the call for pilots, but would apply to both calls. So, Aris, can you maybe reply to this one? Okay, great.
Yes, first of all, the presentation was mentioned about the project and not for the. So our projects are higher TRL. You will have an alpha version of the platform to work on. As I explained on the presentation, there is components ready also, and also authoring tool. We'll have an alpha version of the platform, and we on the pilot's phase, the existing components and the new components that will be used to create lessons. So the platform is an alpha version, is not the presentation was mentioned about our initial submission to the European Union. That was a year ago. So it's not for the components that you're going to build for TRL. So the components are going to be new components or existing components, but needs to have innovative characteristics. This is important for the first part. For the second part, it needs to have so education impact is important on using the platform and components to create lessons. Thank you.
Sorry, I was speaking to myself. I wasn't muted. So thank you, Aris, for your contribution. I think it was clear, but if you have any questions, the participant that addressed that question, please, you can use the Q&A again. Okay, so I will now go to the second. Can we apply from Kosovo? If you, as I said, if it is an eligible country that is identified in the, we are applying the same rules as EC. I don't have in my mind all the countries that are eligible there. Please check that document and we will find if Kosovo is or not eligible to, as a country, to apply to the XR4ED. Okay. Next one, can you confirm that to apply for the call for pilots, a startup must necessarily be in a consortium? Are there any bonus criteria related to the internationality of the consortium? So, first of all, a startup is mandatory to be part of the call for pilots, and this consortium must be led by a startup / SME. So, this call for pilots, this required is important. So this consortium needs to be led by a startup or SME. So this is mandatory. Are there any bonus criteria related to the internationality of the consortium? Okay, so we are targeting geographical. This is one of the requirements as a tiebreaker that we are using for, in case, for instance, several or a few applications have the same score or are ranking the same position. So this, I would say, internationality condition is, of course, take into consideration at the end. Okay. So can we apply for both tracks with different aspects of what we want to create? Yes, so if there are two different projects, so if double funding is not allowed, so you cannot apply to the two tracks with the same project. So you have even the specifications of both tracks are quite different. So the same project cannot be, of course, submitted to both. However, let's imagine that you are selected for the two calls. If that happens, we will take into consideration as well this condition that is previewed in the is previewed in the guideline for applicants to try to involve as many entities as possible. So if you apply to both calls even if with different solutions, if you are selected in both, what probably will happen is that you will only be invited to be part of one of the tracks. We will not be funded by the two. Okay. Thank you. Can we apply in the same time as a developer and as a pilot? I have already answered to that one. Thank you. Can you speak more about the existing tools provided for avatar creation and projections on the platform? So, Fotis, can you try to answer this one?
Yeah, we have a particular partner from Spain, UPC, which is an academic university, and they are developing their own. We're using several tools like Character Creator for creating realistic avatars, but UPC is in particular focusing on ways for interaction and animation with the characters. If somebody wants more technical details, we can point them to the academic papers. We had some papers accepted in SIGGRAPH and CHI, which are both A-star conferences, or we can directly put you in contact with the contact point, Nuria, from UPC to get more technical information.
Okay, thank you so much, Fotis, for answering this question and for your insights. Okay, next one. Okay, this address the call for developers. So do we have to use any specific software for our projects? Do I understand correctly that the project we apply with will then be what we develop for the XR4ED platform if successful? Also, the technical proposal doesn't request any mockups, illustration, etc. Is the proposal only about the written concept without any technical or graphical details annex needed? So, Aris, maybe you can help us here.
Yes. No. The components can use also graphics. For example, I explained a component created already that is using a chat box, okay, a graphical chat box to type chat and create 3D components. So UI can be relevant. It depends on your idea mostly. If there is a component to create something that does not need UI, but is creating some content really innovative, then the answer is yes. But if you need a UI interface, you need to create also the interface. A component should be a standalone component inside the authoring tool and through the marketplace. It depends what you want to access.
Can I add on that, Harris, that
Sure.
it might help all of the partners are using for the development Unity platform. I don't know if this helps or not, but all the XR components, the platform is built on Unity.
Yes, and also web apps can be possible, like it can have access as a web app, so inside the authoring tool. So
Okay, thank you so much. So we are receiving a lot of questions and we will not have the time to address all of them. So what I am doing is copying them and try to be sure that we have all of them. And if we cannot address, unfortunately, due to the time constraints, we will for sure try to reply to them through the Q&A sessions and try to address them, or try to see if we can have another way to answer them. But let's see. Okay, so I see here, can you send presentation, because there are some links, of course. So this presentation will be made available to everyone, as well the recording. So is there a specific age group we are aiming to reach with the developed components outside of the training on professionals challenge that is for this specific group? Can the developed components be used by all the types of educators and for all end users age? Fatis, maybe you can help us here.
Yes, the only restriction that we have is on if somebody is developing an application using headsets, young children are not allowed to use headsets. So if somebody, for example, is developing a VR application with, let's say, Oculus, the minimum age is 16 years old that we want users to experience VR. If, however, there is an alternative solution, for example, using mobile phones, I don't see a problem to go below, because usually the kids have, children have mobile phones, and parents allow them to have mobile phones. It should be also noted that anybody who is below 18 years old has to get approval from the parents as well and the school. So in theory, we target everybody. That's the short answer. But there are a lot of restrictions in ages below 16.
Okay, thank you so much. Well understood, I believe. So next one. So to demonstrate the starting TRL, should applicants attach a video or an APK of the prototype? So I can start with this answer. So you can only submit one annex as part of your application. That is a technical proposal template. So most of the information must be there. But for instance, I don't know if Aries, do you want to mention anything about the APK of the prototype?
I'm not sure, he's referring most probably to a mobile app. In a nutshell, we will need to be able about the component to play through the authoring tool and then create the APK. We are not expecting a standalone APK by itself. It should be through the XR4ED platform. So after that, the build will be able to play. So, but if you can send us an email about the most elaborated question of what you want to build, we can answer.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Aris. So regarding the next question, so does the platform provide specific solutions for deployment for the call for pilots, where we could find some more information about the solutions? Okay, maybe Aris, you can address this one.
Yeah, for the call of pilots is going to use it needs to be one of the categories that we described, the general categories. It needs to describe how it's an education related plan. The components that will be created are not related with the application. It's related with authoring. That you just need to know that you will have all the components to be able to author your environment. For example, you will be able to create 3D models. You will be able to drag and drop things. You will be able to create the components will help. Now, on the pilot phase, on the second, on the educators, you need to create a lesson based either on something existing on without XR experience in a university or a school or a high school, and to use the authoring tool to do it, and to be able to play either in mobile phones or XR devices.
Okay, thank you so much, Ari, for your explanation. I think it was clear. So just to give you an overview of the APK question, the applicant or the participant is saying that this refers to MetaQuest. Do you want to address anything or add anything to your previous answer?
Yes, we are not going to, the APK needs to be built through the platform, not a standalone. So it will be eventually an APK as an output of the platform to be able to play in a headset.
Okay.
But we will not, the component is not an APK. A component is using the platform, as Podis mentioned, as a Unity or as a web app, and then it creates an APK or another format, because it's not only APKs, it depends of type of headset you are using.
Okay, wonderful. The participant is, thank you for your clear explanation. Now is understood. Thank you so much, Aris. Okay, so going to the next one and see if we can answer these final 4 questions. So could you please elaborate more on the interaction between participants in both streams, developers and pilots? How will this cooperation be organized? Depending on the type of hardware chosen for the pilot, additional software development or adjustments may be required. Fotis, do you want to address this question?
Yeah, both streams in a way run kind of in parallel. So we will try to have some interaction, but it's not sequential. So we'll have to see about this, how it will work, because they have a 2 months difference in essence.
Okay. So, Aris, do you want to address or add something here?
Yes, each group will contact the consortium, not each other. So each group will have a dedicated contract to create something. So the consortium, from the 11 partners that we are, is going to be, the incubation phase is going to be allocated to the consortium and not to the 2, let's say, tendering. This is a consortium will handle that.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically, each project is responsible for the adjustments that are required. So the consortium is not responsible for that. So they have to take into consideration that they have to make some software development or adjustments by themselves.
Okay.
They're complete projects.
Okay, thank you so much. I think it was clear. Nevertheless, we are here to provide any kind of clarification through
And I
our...
think the next question is clarifying that, because the next question is kind of answering this task. This thing, can a proposal for a piloting call include development tasks? The answer is yes.
Okay, wonderful. So we have already replied to this question. Thank you so much, Fatis, for your efficiency. So there is another question: how important is the ethical part of the proposal?
I will reply, it's very important. We're having now new legislation about AI. We expect the same for XR. And we need to make sure that we have inclusiveness in the solutions and take into consideration all the most important things in ethics in the solutions. So the answer is very important.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. And finally, we have here another question about the call for pilots. I still haven't understood if we should demonstrate to have a playable prototype type in order.
Yes, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. They should have a prototype. They should demonstrate that they start from TRL4. And this could be done with a video, if I remember the previous question. Or it can be some source code or an application can be sent to us.
Okay.
One thing, just to add here, it's all yes, the things. First, you need documentation of the lesson plan, let's say what you're going to create. Then you need to do it in the authoring tool. And then you need to test it with students, with university.
This is for us. He's talking about the reviewing.
The reviewing. Okay. I was just referring on the pilots.
Yeah, this is for us to check that they're starting from TRL4.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you both. We received a last question. This will be for sure the last question, so no more questions, please. It will be difficult to answer them. So, hello, I'm a startup founder, non-technical. Can I apply for this? Yes, if you are working on the XR sector, if you are developing solutions for this particular call, for the goals and objectives that we are looking for, yes. So I would say that the technical part is mandatory for the call for developers, while the call for pilots is kind of different. Nevertheless, you have to be working on the XR sectors. Anything that you would like to add here, Fotis, Harris?
No, I think it's okay. I mean, everybody who's an expert in XR, they can apply. They have to demonstrate through the proposal that they have sufficient expertise. So we don't expect to see somebody who started working on XR last year, for example. We expect the companies to have good experience in XR. So startup company is okay, but we need experience.
So they have to demonstrate experience, even if they are a recent startup. They have to have at least a team that provides enough experience and demonstrates this experience, this expertise to be successful, accepted to the call.
Exactly.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes, just to add also something, also for the second thing, impact is important where this will be demonstrated. This is also important on having experience on education.
Yes, the overall call is looking for startups working or projects working and directed to the educational sector. So you have to show these expertise as well during the application process. So Thank you so much to everyone, to the participants, special to Fotis, the coordinator of XR4ED, and Aris, the technical coordinator and the responsible for the development of the platform, for your time, for these extra 50 minutes. And as I said, here you will find the QR code where you can scan and access to all the information about XR4ED funding opportunities. This presentation and the recording will be available shortly in the XR4ED digital channels. So I would like to wish you a very nice day and a lovely weekend. Thank you so much. See you on the 14th of June. Thank you.
Everybody have a nice day. Have a nice weekend.